What's going on, everybody? Ladies and gentlemen, we got a whole bunch of stuff to talk about. We're going to be crime story heavy today. Lighter show, think about a 35-minute show. We have the Haitian immigrant who beat that woman to death in front of the store. We have updates from the trial, so we're going to talk about that. And then we're going to talk about the teen, Baby K, that pulled a gun on a kid, tried to kill him on a school bus. The boy was 14 years old when it happened. They only sentenced him to 25 years in prison for attempted murder. Insanity. And we have voicemails, as you all know. Thank you for leaving the voicemails. We got a couple of those we're going to talk about. And then also, before we get to any of that, what is a ceasefire? When they say ceasefire, what does that mean? Because nobody followed the ceasefire whatsoever. Welcome to the Officer Tatum Show.
I want everybody in this room to have that same spirit, that same identity carried in your life.
Make sure that you go through life and find your purpose.
And we don't do this just to get a pat on the back. We do it because we came here to win.
And it starts with you understanding that God has a purpose for you.
This is the time to be more bold than ever before.
We're all Americans at the end of the day, and we should love one another. We should be focused on what's right for our country.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, ladies, welcome back to the show. Hey, I want to just give a shout out to all the members. If you're a member of the Tatum squad, if you're a recruit, a rookie, an officer, a SWAT team member, or a deputy chief, I want to say thank you for joining. If you're interested in joining, hit the join button. But all the members that are watching this, hey, here's what you missed. I tried fried chicken ice cream for the first time. Roll the clip.
I brought you a treat. It's fried chicken ice cream, just to show the folks at home.
This is so racist,
dude. No, excited.
This don't look very good.
Show the people, dude.
Dude, I'm nervous, man.
Why?
This has to be nasty. Japanese fried chicken ice cream. I don't know Japanese making fried chicken that good.
There's a chocolate bone inside, too.
Bone inside.
Chocolate bone, dude.
So you guys got to go check it out. It's available right now for the members only. And if you're not a member, join so you can watch it. It's the craziest thing. You won't imagine what my response actually was after I ate that Japanese chicken ice cream, which was crazy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get to our first story. Before I get there, I got a PSA. I want to give a word of encouragement because I know a lot of you guys are on the right side of history. You guys understand what the truth is, and it's the reason why you follow me. But there's a lot of pressure against speaking out in support of Israel, against Tucker Carlson, and all of these. I noticed that people unfollow me or negative comments when I say anything about them, but I'm telling you guys, hang in there. You're doing the right thing. It's better to be on the right side of God than on the right side of people who don't read their Bible. But I want to encourage you to stay strong, to stand up for what's right. We're never going to back down. We're never going to quit. It doesn't matter if they get more views, if they get more subscriptions, if they get more virality. I do not care. We need to be a channel and a people that are about the truth. And I stand by you, and everybody that support me, you stand by me, and we're going to get through this together. There will be a reckoning. There is a point in time where this phase is going to phase out, and people are going to realize that we were right the entire time. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Let's get to Iran. I'm telling you, and this is a Trump-supporting person, I have no idea what's going on. I don't know what a ceasefire really means. I thought a ceasefire means that people agreed to cease fire. That means that we're going to strike anybody, nobody's going to strike us. We're going to have a 2-week lull. Donald Trump said he's going to kill everybody if they don't do the right thing. They agreed to it. But then look at what has happened since they agreed. I mean, less than, 2 hours from the agreement, this is what has happened. And if Donald Trump decides today, and our administration decides today, that we're going to take punitive action, extreme action, to take over the Strait of Hormuz, I think that's the best move. We cannot continue to play with these suicidal, insane people who wants to leverage economic terrorism against the entire world. I don't know how we allow them to have the Strait of Hormuz anyway. It's affecting everybody all over the world. We need to take action. But look at what has happened since the ceasefire. Roll the clip.
Harris, good morning. We start with breaking news. State media reports that Iran has halted the passage of oil tankers through the Strait of Hormuz after Israeli attacks on Hezbollah in Lebanon. Earlier today, we know 2 vessels were able to go through this passageway. But again, state media is reporting that the Iranians are choking off the strait. I just got off the phone with a senior Israeli official who was sounding the alarm about this action by the Iranians, saying only just a few hours into this ceasefire, the Iranians are already showing that they are trying to leverage their control over the strait and put pressure on global energy trade. And it also comes after reports overnight indicate that an Iranian attack hit Saudi Arabia's east-to-west oil pipeline, and there was significant damage that was currently being assessed. This is important because this pipeline is the only outlet for Saudi crude exports. And as the Iranians are putting pressure on the strait, they once again are trying to leverage this ability to put pressure on global energy exports. It comes after we got a new statement from President Trump this morning about Iran's nuclear program. The president on Truth Social said the United States will work closely with Iran, which we have determined has gone through what they will be a very productive regime change. There will be no enrichment of uranium, and the United States will, working with Iran, dig up and remove all of the deeply buried nuclear dust. The president referring to Iran's enriched uranium there. And again, a lot of moving parts with this agreement that is very new.
I want to put this in perspective for us. State-run media. So what does state-run media mean? That means that the media that's saying what they're saying about Iran holding tankers through the Strait of Hormuz may not necessarily be true. There could be a conversation and agreement that's had between Iranian leaders and President Trump or whoever else is doing mediation that is more accurate than state-run media. State-run media could be trying to perpetuate a situation where they are framing Iran as the power player in this situation, and they may not actually be the power player. We have to understand that there's propaganda and there's messaging that's going out on both sides. We have our messaging and our media saying everything is good. Iranian state media is saying that Iran is posturing themselves as a legit threat in the region. They could be doing it because they want the people of Iran to think that the Iranian government is still in control. We've seen this happen 1,000 times. When Trump bombed Iran the first time, an Operation Lion, Rising Lion, or whatever the case may be, Iranians came out in a retaliatory strike to strike a base that the U.S. military was on, a U.S. military base, and they warned us before they struck the base. So therefore, the Iranians or people that are supportive of the regime or to save face for the regime, where it looks like that they're doing retaliatory action against the United States of America. A lot of this, in my personal opinion, is the Iranians trying to structure or position themselves as still authoritative. They could be completely falling apart, like Trump is saying, but they want to position their media because the people that live in Iran don't get outside media. So the media that's happening in Iran is for the Iranian regime to be able to still have legitimacy. However, there are still strikes that are going on, and they're reported here in the United States of America. And here's another example from Fox News.
We saw overnight new strikes against Iranian oil infrastructure on Lavan Island. This is just off the coast of Iran. A refinery there was reportedly hit in early morning attacks. We don't know which country is responsible for the strikes, but we do know it comes after the Iranians broke the ceasefire hours after President Trump announced it, launching missiles and drones at regional countries and U.S. ally Israel. Here's what it looked like in the skies of Tel Aviv just 2 hours after the ceasefire went into effect. What you just saw there was an Iranian ballistic missile with a cluster warhead, those bomblets raining down on Israel's second largest city of Tel Aviv. This came after the ceasefire was announced by President Trump and an indication that it will take time to get this agreement in place.
Now, this brings in a question for me as a citizen, a supporter of Donald Trump. What exactly was the agreement, and did the agreement get followed, or is Donald Trump positioning our media to make it look like we're winning or make it look like we have the upper hand here? It's hard to tell, because when you say that there's a ceasefire and we say they agreed to a ceasefire, which is a victory for the United States of America, and you see bombs going over Tel Aviv after they violated, in violation of the ceasefire, and you see oil refineries being bombed by we don't know what country. It could be Saudi Arabia, it could be America, it could be Israel. We don't really know. So the question is, this is all becoming incredibly confusing. Now, what's Brandon Tatum's take I trust Donald Trump. Donald Trump has not led us astray. Donald Trump has intel and information that none of us have because we're in none of the briefings. And I think that Donald Trump is always a man of strategy. Not saying his strategy always work, but I think that he is a man of strategy. So when Donald Trump says something publicly, he may be having a secondary option on the side because Iranians are watching our media too. And others are watching our media. So in a play, in my opinion, in a play to a certain degree, playing 4D chess with these people, that Donald Trump is going to say certain things knowing that we're going to win in the end. That's my perception of it. I don't have any other reason to believe Donald Trump wouldn't. Now, Iranians, if they want to play the game and they get smoked, I don't think that we should be against our own country taking action that's is beneficial to the United States of America. According to some of the things that I've read about the ceasefire, Israel wasn't a part of the ceasefire. They weren't. And so all the people thinking that America is run by Israel, we didn't even include them into the ceasefire. We only include the ceasefire into regions or portions where American citizens or American soldiers are. And to me, that tells a story of how we're not run by anybody. Donald Trump is going to do what's best for the United States of America. Here's more context and information from Fox News and the correspondent that's in Tel Aviv right now. Roll the clip.
This post by Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu overnight, who agreed with President Trump about this ceasefire with Iran. The Prime Minister said in part, quote, Israel also supports the U.S. effort to ensure that Iran no longer poses a nuclear, missile, and terror threat to America, Israel, Iran's Arab neighbors, and the world. The 2-week ceasefire does not include Lebanon. Now, we heard from the president through reports earlier today who agreed with the prime minister. Hezbollah and Israel are expected to exchange blows.
You know, the funny thing about all of this, and this is a sidebar, is that when you look at it, you say America and Israel, our country should be in lockstep with our country's interests and our country's allies. There's no way whatsoever that we should be siding with the enemy. There's nothing that Iran can do that will justify us not doing what we need to do in the best interest of our country. And it's crazy that people think are siding, and they're telling you they're not, but they're siding with Iran. They're siding with Iran over their own country when none of us are in the briefings. None of us are in negotiations. So our fail-safe or our what we should default to should be on the side of what our country is saying and what our president is doing. All right, here's some more information and news from Fox News. Roll it.
This is now new video we're getting in. Vessels in the Key Waterway, and at some point you can see these rock islands sitting right along the passageway for tankers and ships, like that one there. We believe that some of these islands are still armed by Iran's regime. We also believe some of these islands were hit directly on behalf of the U.S. military and Israel's Air Force as well.
So what it seems like to me, and I'm telling you, I'm just as confused as you guys are, what it seems like has happened to me is that we asked for a ceasefire, and a ceasefire with agreements from America that they would not enrich uranium and all that other stuff, which they probably agreed to, which we probably got an agreement on. But the Strait of Hormuz wasn't included in that, maybe or maybe not. Donald Trump is projecting that we want to go down that path of making sure that we stabilize the Strait of Hormuz, but that probably wasn't a part of it. And once they violate the ceasefire, we may have bombed some of their tankers in the Strait of Hormuz. I think that America is going to take over the Strait of Hormuz. I don't see why we wouldn't. If we have the capabilities to do it, we should. If Israel can help, they should. And if Saudi Arabia can help, they should. The UN and other countries that have a vested interest in oil tankers and economy flowing through the Strait of Hormuz should be in lockstep of controlling it, because we have terrorists that are controlling it that can screw up the economy in the United States of America and abroad. It's very simple to me. Here's another clip from Fox News that complicates it even more. But I'm just trying to filter through the complication because, like I said, it's almost like trying to assume what's going on without being in the briefings. I think Donald Trump knows, and I think our country knows, our military knows, we don't know. Roll it.
Developments happening in this U.S.-Iran. It's a fragile ceasefire. It's later in the day there, obviously. They're 7.5 hours ahead, I believe you said. So we are waiting to see how this is going to go. There's a question about the Pakistani prime minister. He helped negotiate the ceasefire. He posted this just moments ago. Violations of ceasefire have been reported at a few places across the conflict zone, which undermine the spirit of the peace process. I earnestly and sincerely urge all parties to exercise restraint and respect the ceasefire for 2 weeks weeks, as agreed upon, so that diplomacy can take a lead role towards peaceful settlement of the conflict. I don't think any of us saw the Pakistanis as the mediators here, but they stepped up. And we also have Mark Rutte, the Secretary General of NATO, at the State Department right now, soon to be at the White House.
And I think Donald Trump is not a man that's playing around. I really do believe so. So we'll see what happens. That's just the new updates that we have with the ceasefire situation. I think America is still positioned in a good place. And, you know, the country want to see some of these gas prices go down. So I think that Donald Trump is aware of that, and I think that we're working towards that. Can we give him some patience? This stuff is not easy. If it was easy, other presidents would have done it already. They haven't done it. They haven't made an effort. They haven't done nothing. And we could see Donald Trump making an effort on a broad scale to help with trade, obviously with sanctions and other things that he's done on other countries, and some of the tariffs that he's done on other countries. And what? A pursuit to make sure that America is in a good position long term. When you run a business, you have to make decisions now that would affect us later on. And when you run a business, decisions that we make now are not always easy to make, and they're not always applicable in the moment, but they will be in the best interest of America moving forward. We've seen Donald Trump do that with multifaceted things like securing the border, deporting illegal aliens, all of those things, having a division where we're attacking fraud, taking down these fraudsters that are spending taxpayer dollars to the tunes of trillions of dollars. I mean, we're losing more money internally with fraud than we even give to other countries due to aid. We're losing more in fraud in this country, and all of the money that's going to entitlements that are 70+% of the American budget. We're losing more money in that than we could ever imagine in war. I want people to put that in perspective. So Donald Trump is fighting in every aspect to better this country, home and abroad. And Democrats are fighting him every step of the way. And some Republicans are fighting him every step of the way. If the man could just do his job and people get out of the way or be supportive or have real solutions, that can be more effective to our country. But unfortunately, they don't want that. They want drama. They want chaos. They're thinking about the midterms. Other people on our side who are thinking only about their own personal interests, their own hatred towards certain countries, Jews, Israel, their own hatred is causing them to want to distance themselves from a president that have shown nothing but loyalty to this country. And if they want to call for impeachment, if they impeach Donald Trump, who's next up in line? A person who's been lockstep with Donald Trump's entire mission. Well, they're going to get the same that they would get for Trump if they impeach Trump. They just want to cause chaos and confusion. Don't fall for it. They want people to think that everything is unraveling so you can vote for the Democrats so they can get into office and do the same pay to play that they've been doing for centuries now, or I say decades specifically. So don't fall for it. Take time, reason with what's going on, be patient, and let things play out. Now let's get to some different news. We're going to talk about the illegal alien. I think he was an immigrant. Maybe I think he's even illegal in this country, bludgeoning a woman at a convenience store. It doesn't seem that there's a real true motive to this. It doesn't seem that he knew her. It seemed that this guy is a whack job and he beat her car up, caused her to come outside and beat her to death. Now, we have a little bit of footage, I think, from his trial. We'll get to that. But before we get to that story, let's talk about Verdict. I'm telling you guys, they're selling out. We're selling out fast. We had to do another restock. If you want Verdict, if you're a bourbon drinker, you want premium Verdict at a great price, this is the bourbon that you want. Verdict bourbon guilty, straight bourbon 6-year. Verdict guilty, not guilty, has a little hint of brown sugar. People that don't traditionally drink bourbon, they fall in love with not guilty. I think that we're selling more not guilty than we're selling anything else. So if you're interested, verdictbourbon.com, and make sure you follow us at Verdict Bourbon on Instagram. Link will be here, over there. Link will be in the description section. Make sure you get it a day before it sells out. All right, let's get to the next story. Let's talk about this illegal alien that beat the crap out of this woman. It's happened a few days ago, or maybe like a week ago, but I haven't been able to comment on it. So I want to give my take on this situation. Roll the clip.
We're on top of breaking news from the courtroom in the case of a woman murdered outside of Fort Myers gas station.
Prosecutors say the accused killer, Robert Joaquin, confessed to police he had gone to the gas station last Thursday specifically to kill her. He was in court this morning for a hearing. The Department of Homeland Security said he's an undocumented immigrant from Haiti. However, The state attorney's office says that's not the case. They say he is here legally. Police say Joaquin is the man in this video at the D&D grocery and gas station on Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard at Highland Avenue.
All right,
now, our
so
Gulf Coast
we see, I didn't want to play it. Y'all already seen it. It was incredibly gruesome. I saw it. I saw him hitting her without the filter over it, and he just beat the woman to death. I mean, he hit her, I don't know how many times in the head with that hammer. Now, this is real mushy right here, just so you guys know of human anatomy. This is a hollow spot, and there's only thing here is the bridge of your nose, and all this is open. This can be smashed in easily, especially a person hitting a woman with full force with a hammer. He destroyed this lady, killed her. Now, it's a controversy if he's legal or not. The State Department says, or the governing body of our country that determines if the people are legal, say he's a legal immigrant. Now, the problem is not just illegals, it's also immigrants that we allow in our country that we should have never had here. Haiti is a hellhole, and we need to stop letting people come in from other places in our country that don't share our values, because what happens? They do this. We don't need these people in our country. We're doing this for philanthropic reasons. I don't know, but it backfires because they all they do is drain the system and they murder people. They don't need to be here. We have enough people here already. Let's encourage the people that are here to have babies and populate the country with patriots, not people that don't belong here, that don't appreciate the values that we have in the United States of America. Here's more information on that topic. Roll the clip.
Reporter is live outside Lee County Courthouse where Joaquin appeared this morning.
And Jackie, what else did you hear in the courtroom?
Well, I just got out of the courtroom where I saw Joaquin, and he stood in front of the judge. He is the man accused of murdering that mother at the D&D grocery store last Thursday for his motions hearing. And the lead detective in this case said that he actually recognized Joaquin because he is a suspect in another case that they've been working on for months. And he also said that Joaquin admitted that he went there specifically with the intent to kill that mother.
Did he specifically tell you that he went there to kill the victim in this particular case?
He did.
This is video of the state attorneys showing Joaquin the attack at the D&D grocery and gas station along MLK Jr. Boulevard in court. Detectives say when they found Joaquin, he was wearing the same outfit as the security footage, but he had a different shirt on. They found the yellow shirt he was wearing in this picture in his backpack. The lead detective said he recognized Joaquin when he arrested him.
He's a suspect in another case.
When the officers arrested him, they say Joaquin admitted he was at the gas station 2 days prior and decided to go back and kill her. The detective said he admitted he wore the same outfit so the victim would recognize him. Detectives say he purposefully hit her car with the hammer to get her to come outside so that he could kill her. The state attorneys also said that Joaquin is actually here legally under a temporary protected status, despite Homeland Security saying that he's here illegally and that he will be deported. Ultimately, the judge decided that he will remain in jail without bond until trial because he is too dangerous to be released to the public. The next time he will be in the courtroom will be on May 4th for his arraignment. Reporting live outside of Lee County Courthouse, I'm Jackie Gunther, Gulf Coast News.
All right.
So this is a quick update on what has happened there. It's very gruesome. It's very deranged. And like I said, you know, out of the hundreds of millions of people that live here, it's not quite often that, you know, like this is happening. I want to put that in perspective. It's not like every day somebody's getting killed by an illegal alien or a legal alien, whatever you want to call it. But one is too many. These people are deranged. Our system is broken. How does a person wanted for another case end up committing a murder? I mean, these people need to be caught, they need to be brought to justice, they need to be held accountable, and they need to never see the light of day. Now, here's another example of a future situation where this young boy is going to end up just like this guy. And this is why I always talk about the importance of fathers in these kids' lives. When they don't have a father or a consistent structure, they lose their minds and they're off into crazy stuff. This is why dads are so important. And I think in some ways, because dads understand authority, dads understand how to hold kids accountable without emotions. And what happens a lot of times, if his dads aren't involved, sometimes the moms are not holding these kids accountable. And so what do? They go out, they do things, they commit crimes, they're crazy, they're not being monitored, they're not being protected. None of these things are happening. And kids, if they're not monitored, they go off the cliff. Some of these kids have telltale signs of future violence, of violent tendencies in their future. They show signs. But what happens is there's no support system. There's nobody holding them accountable. There's nobody getting these kids therapy or stuff that they need before they lose their minds and go crazy. And how does a 14-year-old boy have a gun is insane. Now, I want to give you guys a backstory if you don't understand this case specifically. Here's a little bit of what happened with the young man initially, and then we're going to go through and talk about what happened at trial and why he was sentenced to I think it's ridiculous sentencing. He should have got a lot more time in prison for what he did. Roll the clip.
The terrorized mother of a school bus attack victim tells us she's trying to move her entire family out of Prince George's County. Police are searching for the alleged gunman, just 15. That teen, who police have only identified as Baby K, is charged with attempted murder as an adult. Baby K is accused of trying to shoot and kill a 14-year-old on a school bus. But that's not all. Baby K is also the suspect in the murder of a 23-year-old woman in D.C. In another twist, sources tell WUSA 9 that murdered woman was the sister of one of Baby K's alleged accomplices in the bus attack. Police are actively searching for Baby K. We learned he actually stars in a pair of YouTube videos that have been racking up views. But as our Scott Broom reports, frustrated authorities have still not caught up to him.
In Baby K's music videos, he can be seen showing off a handgun with an extended magazine. A 15-year-old still on the run tonight after allegedly trying to kill an 8th grader on a school bus in Prince George's County and accused of shooting and killing the sister of a friend just 2 days after the bus attack. And the terror out there is real. The mother of the school bus victim spoke by phone to me today and asked WUSA 9 to protect her identity as she talked about her effort to raise money to relocate her family out of town.
We're living in fear. I need to get him as far as I can from this area, and we don't ever need to come back. I just want him caught and off the streets. He is wreaking havoc. He showed me his chain, took it right off and quit.
Meanwhile, Baby K has been on YouTube all along, raps referencing carjacking and that Glock pistol. WUSA 9 has confirmed the 15-year-old is a suspect in the murder of 23-year-old Kaija McCoy, who was shot in the face May 3rd inside this apartment building on Jamison Street Northeast. McCoy was the sister of a juvenile accused of being one of 2 Baby K accomplices that held the victim down during the school bus attack. The boys failed to carry out the murder because Baby K's gun jammed, authorities said.
All right, let's talk about this for a minute. I want you to process this. They caught him. We're going to get to that. How is he uploading on YouTube? Where is he getting internet access to? Where is he getting a gun? Where is he at when he's recording these rap videos? And how does his parents not know what he's doing? And I would almost imagine that he probably raised by his grandparents because his parents are probably trash, including his mom and dad. Or if he even know his dad, who knows? These dudes out here having babies with people and don't even know where their kids at. Don't even care in many cases. And this kid is doing all this, and I bet you $1 million his mama know he's doing it. But she can't control him no more. The boy is just out of control. He can't be controlled by anybody. How does a 15-year-old boy have murder on his mind that can look another human being in the face and shoot them in the face with a gun? And I bet you $1 million what happened was the sister of the other accomplice found out what happened and was going to snitch, and so he killed her so she couldn't tell on him. That's crazy. Now, let's get to, if you hadn't seen the incident, I'm going to show the incident real quick so you can see the context, and then we're going to talk about them capturing him in his sentencing. Roll the clip.
It was appropriate in this case because of the planning, the deliberation.
He was going to shoot this kid in the face.
Of what he wanted, which was to murder a child. Our victims are still feeling the impact of the decision that Mr. Holland made on May 1st of 2023.
I hope that this sentence brings some measure of peace and some measure of closure to the victims as well as the community.
It was clear that
All right, let's get, obviously he got caught. Let's get to his sentencing. Roll it.
It's a teen who admitted boarding a Prince George's County school bus, putting a gun to a student's head, and pulling the trigger gets 25 years in prison. Good evening, I'm Megan Clark. The case of Caden Holland, known as Baby K, shook our region and prompted calls for change to Maryland laws.
He agreed to a plea deal and pled guilty to attempted first-degree murder. These are sketch artist renderings of Holland at a previous hearing. At today's sentencing hearing, Holland found out he'll spend the next 25 years in jail.
From a different bus angle, you can see that Mr. Holland is ejecting live rounds out of the firearm, and those were found on the bus. He then proceeds over to the other seat where the young man had moved to. He tries to shoot him again in the face. That was the picture that I had printed out. Again, he's unsuccessful.
Holland could have been sentenced to life, but he confessed to the crime, so prosecutors only asked for a sentence of 60 years with all but 25 years suspended.
So that's what the suspension is. 65 years, all but 25 years suspended. So they wanted he had, I don't know the math, between the number of 65 and 25 is what, 45 years or 40 years? So they suspended 40 years of his sentence. They wanted 40 years suspended because he confessed. Now, there's nothing in this statute or anything from the prosecution that says that he can't be eligible for parole. So a kid that dangerous will probably only do 10 years in prison and may have opportunity for parole. A kid that have already murdered somebody, hopefully they tie him to the other murder and then he do the rest of his life in prison. But what kind of world are we living in where a kid is got murder on his mind like that? And this is what I was talking about yesterday with Offset getting shot and his brother from the Migos getting killed in a dice game. It's cyclical. I don't know if the violent music is causing kids to want to be like that, or the violent culture is causing people to make music about violence. Right now we cannot prosecute people for making music. It's freedom of speech. But you can see on YouTube that a minor has a gun in his hand. How do you not pursue a minor with a gun in his hand? The videos are going viral according to the news. You telling me police officers can't see a viral video of a teenager? He looks like a little kid with a gun in his hand. If you did not have a mask on, or if you did not get vaccinated, or you went to the Capitol building, they'll find you and prosecute you and put you in jail. But they can't catch a kid with viral videos online with a gun in his hand, threatening to kill people. Then he killed one and tried to kill two people. And the fact that he killed potentially the other person, which is not admissible in court, so they can't talk about it when they deal with this trial. But you got a kid doing time like that or doing stuff like that, he should be stopped. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a hotline. So we're going to talk about the hotline. You guys can call in to the hotline at 480-788-1858. If you got commentary, if you want to talk trash to me, whatever, here's your opportunity to do it all. Let's get to the calls. All right, before we get to the first call, I want us to understand that if you guys have topics that you want to pitch, this is also an opportunity. If you see something, you like, B. Tatum, I want you to talk about this, or can you review this? It's an opportunity. If you go through the calls, you can potentially do that. If it's a good enough story, which we have one today, that I'm going to react to, you can submit that. Let's get to the calls. Call one.
So my name's Cody. I'm from Michigan, and I've been kind of wanting to get back into the church scene and get back into finding God. I've always been so against it. I've always fought it my entire life. And I think it'd be a good little topic to talk about. So if you don't mind giving me some advice on that on your show or something, that would be pretty awesome, man. Thanks for all your content.
Cody from Michigan, man, thank you so much for the call. This is how I would perceive it. If you've been outside of a relationship with God, you don't go to church anymore, you kind of find yourself being distant, just understand it's normal to have that feeling because you're human and you live in a world that's fallen. And there's a lot of reasons why people don't go to church. And church is one of the reasons why people don't go to church. So what I will say is that introducing yourself back into the fold tells me that God is calling you. It's God is calling you in your heart that you need to come back. Coming back don't necessarily mean you need to go right to church. I would advise against going to church right away. I think that the connection with God is most important when it's an individual connection. That connection don't just happen at church. The connection happens at home. I would argue, get yourself a Bible. I would recommend ESV. Get a Bible and just take some time and go through and read the Gospels again. Read Matthew, Mark, Luke, John. Read the book of Acts. Go and reread Jesus Christ's message to the people. And I honestly believe the gospel is what draws you back. And make sure you pray. At night, give a prayer. Take a little time. It ain't got to be super spooky. You ain't got to speak in tongues and do all that stuff. You could just look at God and say, God, I feel you calling me. Give me some advice. Let me know what I should do next. Send me the right people in my life that can help me get to the point. Send me the right church that I can go to and be a member at and get involved again. And I'd say that that's where you start. Read your Bible, pray to God, continue to do that until God leads you to a place that you can have a healthy relationship and you can grow in a healthy way. The reason I argue against going right to church is because when you're vulnerable and that connection is not as strong as it used to be, you can go to church and get hurt again. People at church are fallible individuals. A lot of these churches are businesses and they're not really concerned about your relationship with God. They're concerned about building a church. So get your connection with God back to where you used to be. Listen to worship music. Occupy yourself with the word of God. Do it methodically and do it, work your way back into it. One thing that I think that hurts people a lot is when they go extra spiritual and they try to just do it all at one time and then they can't live up to it and they burn out. So take your time, get back in. God is calling you. And when God calls you, that means God has a space for you to grow and to get back into right alignment. I don't think that God is calling you saying that if you don't show up tomorrow, it's all over. It's God is calling you back. He know where you're at. He know how you feel. He know what your heart desire is. So connect with him on a personal level and then get back to the corporate level. All right, next call.
Yo, okay. I just got one word to say to you. God bless you, my man. My name's Adam. I'm calling from California and these excuse my language, I'm sorry, my apologies. These dumb aristocrats in the state of California. I've been watching you for a few years now, and God bless you, man. Love you. Keep doing what you're doing. There's a lot more people on your side than you think, and we love and respect everything you do.
All right, I appreciate that, Adam from California, and I agree with your sentiment. These people are evil. They want to destroy America. They want to destroy American values. They don't believe in freedom. They don't believe in capitalism. And if they had it their way, we'd be all eating out of trash can while they make as much money as they can off of our tax dollars. So I agree with you, brother. God bless you, and thank you for calling in. Here's the next one.
Brandon, this is Cynthia from Kentucky. I've watched you for a long, long time, but I've got a suggestion for you. I know the Epstein files and all that crazy crock of whatever, but you've got to watch and react to Tom McDonald's video, Auntie. It's his new one out. And I know you don't like his hooks, but you will love this hook, I promise. Please, please, please react to it. Thank you so much for everything you do.
Cynthia from Kentucky, you know me. That tells you somebody watch me if they know that I'm critical of Tom McDonald's hooks. I like him to work on the hooks, but Tom McDonald is one of my favorite artists. I think that he should get way more love than he gets. I think he's a genuine guy. I talked to him and his girl on the phone. This dude literally produces his music videos with just him and his wife. And the guy's amazing. So I haven't seen this video. I haven't heard of it until Cynthia recommended it. So Cynthia, your request is I'm going to adhere to it. So together, y'all can watch this with me. I think it's about a 2-minute clip. So let's watch Tom McDonald because I'm going to react to this because Cynthia asked me to, and I know she a day one because she knows how I feel about Tom McDonald. All right, y'all ready? Roll the clip.
They a bunch of Satanists, criminals, murderers, and pedos. We all pray to God while they worshiping the devil. Yeah, it's Hollywood, the royal family, politicians left and right. They seem anti-American, they anti-Christ. They anti-Christ. They anti-Christ. They seem anti-American, they anti-Christ. It ain't left and right no more, 'cause now it's good and evil. They used to call it a conspiracy, but now it's real. We seen the files and the facts, don't care how you feel. They having pizza parties, and that means they eating people. This might wake them up. QAnon didn't make it up. Missing kids got flown to Jeffrey's Island by who paid enough. The rich and famous, the young eat human flesh. It ain't for fun, it's ancient ritual, sucking adrenochrome from baby's blood. They call us crazy, but they should be behind bars. They call us liars because they don't want to get charged. They call us conspiracy theorists, but in their hearts they know all the names they call us ain't as bad as what they are. They are Satanists, criminals, murderers, and pedos. We all pray to God while they worshiping the devil. Yeah, it's Hollywood, the royal family, politicians left and right. They seem anti-American, they anti-Christ.
I see you, Tom. Hold on, Cynthia.
They anti-Christ. They seem anti-American, they anti-Christ. It ain't a culture war no more, the real fight is started. We've been up against each other, but now we the targets. It's the rappers, it's the actors, the elites in charge. It's kings and queens, they all bowing to the prince of darkness. Things ain't getting better, they run the world with rich investors. The cult came from Egyptian deserts, now they cannibals in Gucci sweaters. Using AI to fuel agendas, control the news, the truth, the weather. Now we're ruled by a group of dudes who are all satanic child molesters. They call us crazy, but they should be behind bars. They call us liars because they don't want to get charged. They call us conspiracy theorists, but in their hearts they know all the names they call us ain't as bad as what they are. They are Satanists, criminals, murderers, and pedos. We all pray to God while they worshiping the devil. Yeah, it's Hollywood, the royal family, politicians left and right. They seem anti-American, they anti-Christ. They anti-Christ. They anti-Christ. They seem anti-American, they anti-Christ.
Hold on, shawty. Declassified, new album out, available on iTunes and Spotify. I like that. I ain't gonna even lie. I like that. I bet that beat goes so hard. Matter of fact, when I get in my car, I'm gonna listen to it on the way to the bank. Not to go get my $7,000 check or nothing, but I'm on the way to, I gotta take care of business. I say I'm on the way to the bank. I know he on the bank to get a check. Man, God dang, I wish they paid me that $7,000, man. I'm missing it. I could use that right about now. All right, anyway, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Shout out to the members. If you're not a member, make sure you go and join the membership, best membership program on the internet. I don't think nobody else is doing it better than me, at least on YouTube. And we're going to just continue to make it better and do as much as we can. We got another video we're waiting for approval. I'm at the range shooting suppressed. It's fire. I got way more content I want to do like that. So you guys, make sure you call in on the call-in number. Also, make sure you join the membership program. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. There's a lot of people that's watching it that love it that haven't hit subscribe yet. Subscribe. I think it's about 30% of people that listen to my stuff don't even subscribe. So make sure you subscribe, get those subscriber numbers up, get the like numbers up. Every time you go and watch one of my videos, make sure you hit the like button. It really makes a tremendous impact. Show YouTube that you're interested, because just watching is not just the interest. Engaging is where you show a lot of interest. So comment, like, subscribe, and I love you guys. Y'all hold the phone. We're going to get to post-show clarity for all the members. Hold the phone.